All right, guys, this is going to be a full hip range of motion mobility circuit. I guess there's there's 4 different circuits that we're going to go through. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different circuits. All right, we're just going to work the hip in all different planes of motion. There'll be a little bit of strengthening involved too, and you'll notice that as you go through the routine more and more, it will become a little bit easier. It's not an easy routine. This is not like stretch, ooh, feels really good. This is trying to move in, full ranges of motion for the hip, all right? Penny's out here, you might hear her barking, that's okay. And it's really hot, so I might get sweaty. Fair warning. So I got a yoga mat out here on some gym flooring. You can do this pretty much anywhere. If you find that your knees are bothering you in any of the movements, just add a little extra padding underneath them. But I don't think, there might be one that's a little tricky, but I don't think there'll be too many. Okay, so first move, we're gonna go through something called the 90-90 active series, all right? So we're gonna get in a 90-90 position to start here, which means your front leg is gonna be at a 90-degree angle, and your back leg is also gonna be at a 90-degree angle, okay? So in this position here, the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna sit nice and upright as best you can, and we're going to do lean overs. So I'm gonna take my arms straight out to the side, I'm gonna lean over my front hip, then I'm gonna turn, and I'm gonna lean over my back hip. Obviously the back one's a little bit tighter, all right? So I'm gonna go through the full thing, we're gonna do this 10 times. Everything in this series is 10 times. What? Well, not right now.
Yeah.
Just go get it.
Directly. I wish it was okay. Good girl, honey.
Which one?
The blue one.
Oh, you got it. Sorry. All right, next move, guys. So we've done our lean overs. We're going to do hip lifts, okay? So if you can, keep your torso upright, keep your hands off the ground, and you're actually going to, for the front leg at least, we're going to lift the entire hip, all right? So we'll see that come up. We'll do that 10 times, and you'll feel a lot of work happening on the inside of the hip there, right in the groin, some adductors working. 2 more. All right, we're gonna do the same thing on the back leg. For the back leg, it's all right to put the hands down. It's a little bit tough to get that external hip to come up. But again, we're trying to lift the entire leg up, not just the knee like that. Everything's coming up off the ground. You'll feel lots of tension in the glute on the outside of the hip there. 10 reps. All right, we're gonna come back to the front. We're gonna do leg lifts again, and this time when the leg comes up, you're actually gonna kick the leg out in front, all right? So just a little bit tougher. So up, out, back, up, out, back. Everything with control. 10 reps here. All right, that's 10. We're gonna do the same thing on the back leg. I'll shift over here so we can make sure that's in the camera. We're gonna go hip up, out, up, out. Feel the glute burning on this one for sure. Two more here. Ooh, all right. Got last 3 moves here. I'm gonna come back to the front leg and we're gonna do what's called an external rotation. So I'm really gonna lean my body away here. I'm gonna give my hip a chance to move, and I'm gonna rotate the hip externally, which drives the foot up. Again, we'll feel that right on the inside there. We'll do this 10 times. Then we're gonna do the same thing on the back, except we've got an internal rotation. So think about driving the knee inside and the foot is gonna come up and out, all right? So we'll see just like that. All right, we've got one more move here. And so I'm gonna bring myself back up into a nice open posture, and I'm gonna open this back leg as high as I can, keeping this front hip on the ground. All right, so just some external rotation of the full hip there. I'm gonna do 10 reps here, and we're gonna switch sides, and we're gonna do all this goodness on the other side. Right. I'll do a slightly different angle here so you'll get just a different viewing perspective. You'll get the backside perspective here. I'm definitely tighter on this side with an internally rotated left hip, so you might see me struggle with the movement a little bit more, but maybe that's what we need, all right? Just to give you a little different perspective. So we're going back to the leans, all right? I've got my arms out, going back to 10. That's one where I could definitely use a little more padding on the inside of that left knee, so I'm just gonna back up there. All right, and we're gonna go into the hip lifts, all right? Again, I'm gonna struggle a little more on this side, I know I am, but you're trying to lift that whole leg up and off the ground 10 times. And same on the back leg, and we can put our hands down for this one, just to give us a little bit more range of motion.
No, this looks like so you can store it. Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
Back to that front leg, we're gonna lift and kick, all right?
Oh, cool. Yeah.
All right, same thing on the back leg, lift it up, kick. Everything's with control, right? So we're not just kind of like dropping the leg. If you hear smacking, try to slow it down. No need to rush through this. If you're getting behind, then just pause the video. All right, going into our internal or external rotation there on the front leg. So I'm just gonna lean way over to the side so I have the ability to lift that hip up. And again, I think maybe you can see it, maybe not, but I'm definitely weaker getting this side to externally rotate. All right, same thing onto the back leg, but we're internally rotating. All right, if you guys have trouble actually creating that rotation on either of those positions, you can actually just use your hand to keep your knee pressed down so that you can rotate off the knee. Same on this side, so you can actually keep the knee down, right? Depending on how your mobility is there. Last one, end of the active 90-90 series, opening that back leg through external rotation. 10 times, and then we'll carry on. All right, moving on to the next piece. We're gonna do the butterfly series next. So, I'm sure if you played any sports growing up or watched any sports, this was a standard 10-second hold stretch in a butterfly position, feet together, knees as wide as you can, or heels as close to your body as you can. Don't worry about how low you are in this position. We're looking to improve the mobility, not test the mobility, right? So in this position here, I can actually get pretty wide on this external rotation, so I'm using my elbows against kind of my calves to press them out. If you're way up here, then you're going to be able to actually press out on your knees to get them down. So what we're going to do is we're going to alternate two moves. One is pressing down, so trying to open up and you're not resisting for 10 seconds. And then the second move is you're actually going to close, you're going to try and close your legs with your elbows still resisting on the way down, right? And so all we're looking for there is kind of that opening and then resistance, opening and resistance, right? So we'll go 10 seconds, opening up. And 10 seconds, I'm squeezing, trying to close, kind of feeling that tension on the in the groin there, and then I'm going to relax and I'm going to sink it even deeper into it. Another 10 seconds here. And then I'll come back up. Squeezing here. And I've got one more here, so 3 sets of each. 8, 9, 10, and last one. Pressing in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and good. All right, so that's our butterfly series, nice and easy. My personal favorite, well, it's actually my favorite and my least favorite. We'll do the pancake series on the next one. So you can't see my other leg is out of the frame here, but I'm as wide as I can get in this position. And we're gonna start with some side-to-side reaches, all right? And when we're doing those side-to-side reaches, we're actually just gonna reach over top of your body, and you'll notice that as we go through some, the hamstrings will start to loosen up a little bit. The side, the obliques, the ribs, the lats, everything will kind of loosen up. You'll be able to reach a little bit further, okay? So 10 each side, just like this. This is 5. I've got 2 left on each side here. Really feeling the my lats are starting to loosen up here, and also my hips a little bit. All right, good. That's 10. Okay. So here's the tricky part. We're gonna go for 3 sets now, where you're gonna reach forward as far as you can. We're gonna hold for 10. So we'll hold that for 10. 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I'm gonna come up, and now I'm gonna do leg lifts. Now I struggle with this. I've got weak hip flexors in this position. So I'm gonna bring my legs in a little bit, just to make it a little bit easier. I'm gonna have my hands down by my sides, and I'm just gonna lift one leg at a time. We're gonna do 10 lifts per leg, and you will feel this in your hip flexors for sure, all right? You'll probably feel it tomorrow. We'll do 10 per side. They don't need to be particularly high. We're just trying to get those hip flexors to work. Got one more. Good. Now I'm gonna go wide again, as wide as I can. I'm gonna reach forward again. This is round 2. And we'll come out and do the leg lifts again. The idea here is if you can lift in this position, great. I just don't have the strength to do it yet. So I'm just gonna bring it in a little bit, And I'll get my leg lifts in here, and you'll still feel the hip flexors work, I guarantee it. You want to make sure you're not leaning too far back, because then we get too much abs working. You almost want to lean forward as we lift those legs. 8. Last one. Good, we've got one more round here, so I'll go nice and wide again. Reaching forward as far as I can. This is the last one. All right, we'll come out of that. And last time for the lifts. Oh, I'm always happy when that one's done. Eventually they will get better. Promise you'll get stronger. All right, next one is just a, it's kind of a hip hinging series from the top. So we're gonna be in a split stance. Doesn't matter what leg's forward first. I'll go left forward first. Make sure you're on an even surface here. Legs are nice and straight, and you're just gonna do 5 RDLs, 5 Romanian deadlifts. So keeping my legs relatively straight, just the slightest knee bend. I'm gonna shift my hips back as far as they'll go with my back flat, and I'm gonna come back up. We'll do 5 of those. You'll feel stretching that front hamstring. Just remembering that as the hips go back, the chest comes forward. And then we'll switch sides. 5 on one, 5 on the other. Good chance to practice your hinging mechanics here. And then we're gonna take a wide stance. So I'm probably gonna go about this wide. I'll turn just so you can kind of see the hip position. So I'm maybe half a foot wider on each side of the mat here. And I'm just gonna take my arms straight out. And we're gonna do 10 kind of stiff-legged deadlifts or RDLs in this position here. Again, hinging as far back as we can, getting that feel in the hamstring, squeezing the butt to come back up. 10 reps here. All right, last one, guys. We got a hip flexor series. So this is gonna be a bit of a stretch and then move. We're gonna do 3 sets on one side, and then we'll do 3 sets all on the other side. I'm gonna bunch the mat up here because it will, this is the one where it kind of does get a little tricky on the knee, or my knee at least. So just in a lunge position here. The depth of the lunge is going to depend on you. My right hip's quite tight right now, so I can't go much deeper than this. And you're actually going to tuck your pelvis underneath. So we don't want the pelvis tilted back, where you've kind of got that low back arch and an big open hip flexor here. I actually want you to tilt underneath, and you're going to feel the hip flexor pull up. Okay, we're going to hold here for 10 seconds. And then after this, I'm going to come back down. I'm going to put my hands out to the side, and I'm balancing over that same leg. And I'm going to lift. Oh, you can't see that. Let me walk forward here. There we go. So this is the leg that I was stretching the hip flexor on, and I'm just going to lift the other leg 10 times. Good. I'll get that hip flexor stretch again. So we're going to do this 3 times on each side, tucking that pelvis underneath. Come back down for the leg lifts. Last time. side before we switch sides. All right. So we'll switch sides here. I think I've got enough room here. I should. Yep. There we go. Same idea. Remember to tuck that pelvis underneath. Holding for 10 seconds. Good and hot. Alright, then we're going to come down. Arms out to the side, dropping on that hip flexor. I'm going to have to come forward a little bit. I have the wall in the way. And 10 lifts. Good, and we'll stretch again. You'll notice that I'm kind of alternating between a tucked foot position and a flat foot position there. That really depends what you want. In this position here, I get a bit of an extra stretch through my toes and through my foot. Here I get a little bit more through the ankle. I think in the other position, it really depends where you feel more stable. It's a fair amount of pressure on the hip flexor when we go down and we're balancing on this one leg. So I find if I tuck my feet, I'm a little bit more stable, whereas if I'm on just my shin and my ankle, it's a little bit harder to balance, but you guys can kind of make that decision for yourselves. Good, one more set here, and we are done. My camera skills aren't yet professional, but alright guys, that's it. I'd recommend probably doing that about once a week. It's not really a warm-up because it is so active, there is so much involvement. I would pick a rest day to do it once a week, twice a week if you really feel like you need it. And yeah, enjoy guys.